Well, it's time to finish our first full week of this Luton Town series from FM06, and our retro road trip has led to a blistering start that is just starting to fall away and mirror real life. We've gone through the January window, we've had injuries, we've had departures, we've had frustration on the ins as well. And now, I've got to be honest with you, I don't think we're going to hold on. We're clinging on to a top six spot going into today with a couple of big games on the horizon. It might be the fall to mid-table next. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 7 of this FM06 retro save from Luton Town with me, Daniel. We're back in 6th spot on the 4th of March, but it's all starting to fall away a little. It seems like our lads only perform on camera because since you were last with me, just one win in 6 after 2 back-to-back brilliant ones on the camera in the last episode. So a little bit of work to do. I hope you're looking forward to finding out how we get on. If you are, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. More frustration with new contracts, with the wages, with trying to get people in on frees. It's going to be a very difficult summer, and maybe we're starting to see the struggles that Luton had in real life coming towards the end of their first championship season. Before we go and do that though, we've got a lot to reflect on, particularly in terms of results. So come and join me as we have a look back at what happened in our last 6 matches. Because it's quite tight in those playoff races at the minute, we're going to do 3 more episodes this season. Today's one, the one with the derby at the start of April, and then the one at the end of the season. But let's have a look at the 6 fixtures we've played off camera, because you were with me when we seemed to bounce back after 4 straight defeats against Reading and Plymouth. Going the opposite way, isn't it? Can't win a game off camera, now winning them all in front of you guys. And it's not just the fact that we haven't won some of these, there were a couple of heavy home defeats. First against QPR, Warren Feeney got our goal as he returned from injury, but we really struggled. And to be fair, it was our future players in this universe, as Paul Furlong and Kevin Gallen both got on the score sheet here. We did pick up a point against Hull thanks to Nichols and Morgan before a 5-1 crushing at home to Palace. A good goal from Steve Howard, but the defence were awful. We had Leon Barnett as centre-half with Chris Coyne out. He got suspended from that whole game. And then going forward, we just didn't look a threat at all. We did, though, get a big victory away at Derby County the Saturday after. Nichols and Morgan again the scorers. Seems to be the case when we're getting good results. A 1-1 draw, though, against 21st place Crew. Not ideal. A Kevin Nichols penalty to the rescue there. And then last time out against bottom of the table Brighton. They've not won in 19 fixtures, but they managed to get a point against us. Ahmet Berkovic and Kevin Nichols with goals that weren't quite enough. And what you may have noticed in those last 2 matches is that Marlon Beresford was in goal, and that has been a crucial problem for us. The game before that, Leon Barnett was covering centre-half, didn't do very well. We're just a little bit tight in defensive areas due to injuries. They're coming back now, and we should be all right from today, but they were 2 bad games for them to miss out on, really, because in another world, we could have got 6 points out of that. We now go into a run-in on paper is pretty tricky. We've got the likes of Leicester and Ipswich and Burnley, Sheffield United, Stoke, all looking at that playoff race. Watford, of course, the derby. Southampton now flying, Rowan Vine amongst the goals for them, having gone there for £1 million in January. And then the likes of Wolves, Preston and Cardiff to finish are not going to make things easy, because if you look at the table, we've not really, bar Watford, got anyone in that sort of bottom 5 that are cut adrift. Cardiff and Stoke are the next 2, but they're in the mid-40s and could quite easily mount a late playoff charge. So the run-in promises to be a little bit trickier, but we are going to show plenty of it just because it's close in that playoff race. And if you take away Hull, who have run away with it, between 2nd and I'd argue maybe 10th, maybe 11th if you include Sheffield United with a game in hand, it could be very tight come the end of the year. So if we get through Burnley today at the end of a very tiring week, we've then got Leicester who are in 8th. We lose both of those, we could be in trouble. Let's get through to the first fixture of the day. I will show you as well, we had the end of the transfer window just in case there was anything you weren't aware of. We didn't get any more transfers in. We didn't get any more loans in. In terms of players out though, one more moved on, Stuart Richardson to Brighton for £30,000. I think you saw the offer on camera last time, but didn't see the outcome of it. Rowan Vine, of course, the big deal so far. Future transfers out. Steve Robinson has agreed his deal to go to Bournemouth now, so he'll be moving on at the end of this year. Kevin Foley, it says an offer from Norwich. We definitely haven't got one. It keeps coming up. I've rejected it countless times, honestly. I'm going to reject all offers again and just see if that works, but we seem to have encountered a little bit of a glitch there. If we go through to the loans out, Dean Brill left the club again. He's gone on loan to Swindon, where he's yet to play a game. Not ideal for us, really. Craig Baxter has played a couple of games out at Wickham. He seems to be doing quite well in the Football League. And then further down, we've also got Calvin Andrew, who's gone out to Doncaster again. He's not really managed to make a start, but he has made an impact off the bench. So lots of players going out of the club, not getting much done on the ins. Stephen O'Leary is back in the first team squad, but has yet to feature for us. Is improving though, so might solve our problem with Berkovic leaving next year. We can just promote Edwards and push him up. But let's go through to the fixtures today because it's a big one. We have got Burnley in the league. We've got to try and stay in that top six. You can see morale struggling a little bit for a few of them. Coyne's put in a couple of awful displays. Lee Grant's been poor. Defensively, we've just dried up. Sol Davis is playing poorly when he's in and he's struggling physically. Sort of since they've come back from injury, the likes of Sol Davis, I'm trying to think, Carlos Edwards, Warren Feeney, they've not been able to play more than 1 in 2. You can see Feeney is tired. He's not even on the bench today. Enoch Shawunmi is back to take that place up front. Leon Barnett drops out the squad entirely. He's just had a really tough few weeks. So this is the 11 we're going for. Joe Keenan comes in at left back. He has now agreed to join the club in the summer on a permanent for a couple of grand a week. So he will be part of our squad moving forward. Good versatile player to have on the bench and in and around the squad. Underwood is back and fully fit. Berkovic not doing so well since he said he was going to leave in the summer, but did pop up with a crucial goal last time out. And then up front, Dean Morgan is back in alongside Howard, more due to fitness. None of the strikers bar Howard really performing at the minute. So let's see how we get on in the first of 2 big games today. It's huge if we want to stay in that playoff race. There's a big physical Burnley side here. 2 big strikers, some good centre halves. You can see even like Michael Duff at right back. They've got a big team. It's going to be a problem from set pieces. And it's going to be a problem for us trying to take advantage of our strengths because Frank Sinclair will fancy his chances against Steve Howard. Let's go and get into the first half, see how we do at Turf Moor, a ground I'm going to for this very fixture in about a week's time in real life. Let's see how gifted Noel Williams gets on. As early doors, he plays to O'Connor and Hyde. Good start from Burnley. They're looking confident as Wade Elliott gets a chance and puts it just wide. I'm hoping that our defensive woes will be improved with Lee Grant back today. But it's not looked good for several weeks now, even with him in the team. As Howard wins a good flick on, that's a nice one early. Morgan chases it, beats Frank Sinclair into the box. Brilliant football and a great save by the keeper, Brian Jensen, the big cult hero at Burnley. And unfortunately, he's made a big save to deny Dean Morgan as Berkovic is beaten to it by John Harley. Cross the box to Adi Akinbaye. It's a great save from Lee Grant. We needed that as Beresford wasn't making those in the last few days. And that's cost us in the last 2 matches, in fact. So let's see how we deal with this one. O'Connor's going to put the ball across the box. Another man who went on to play for Luton in real life, only briefly on this occasion, is into the front post though. Vermeuten's up. Berkovic gets there first. Good stuff. Michael Duff recycles it on the right-hand side. Morgan blocks and then Nichols gets in. It's out for a Burnley throw. But the home side definitely doing most of the running so far. As Foley heads away, another dangerous ball. Spicer shoots from the edge of the blocks. Blocked to Gareth O'Connor. Good save from Lee Grant. It's away by Keenan. It's so backs to the wall, isn't it? Vermeuten with a free kick. Yeah, there's a fair few of them going in FM06. And Vermeuten has put one right in the corner. Round the wall, 1-0 Burnley. And no less than they deserve with 20 minutes on the clock. As we're back with Vermeuten, 26 on the clock. Sinclair working down the right-hand side. Elliott into the box. Coyne does well. But we're still under pressure. We can't find a way out. It's not just the fact that we've defended more poorly in recent weeks. And maybe it's not just that. As another one comes off the woodwork from Noel Williams. Maybe it's the fact that we've lost a lot of our attacking threat. Means that we're not just able to relieve the duties of the defence. Give them a breather. And if we go under 90 minutes of pressure, we're probably going to fail. As Kevin Nichols steps up, deflected free kick. Hits the wall, but Jensen reacts. And it's away as far as Kevin Foley. Chance to go down the right. Blocked for a throw-in. Oh, it's a difficult one, this. We're playing okay. But it is very much a team that we're second best against. And look, this is how the whole season should have been. As Steve Howard nearly heads one in against nothing. He's had his first half chance of the game. He's nearly made it count. But this is what we expected the season to be like. We're one of the poorer teams in the division. We've had a brilliant start. And it's going to save us this year. It might even get us in a playoff race we don't deserve to be in. But this is what happened in real life. As Kevin Foley, he nearly scores an own goal. Was he trying to test Grant or something? I don't know. But with the players that are leaving this summer, with the experience that's going out of the club, in Perrett, in Berkovic, in Robinson, we're going to have to find players to come in that improve this squad, because next year will get very tricky if we don't have the same flying start. We win a free kick on halfway, we're 5 to the break. We're probably quite lucky it's only 1-0 here. Very dominant performance so far. But have we got one chance to equalise? No, because Duff beats Underwood to it. Foley loses out in the air to Noel Williams. And now Adi Akinbaye looks for his strike partner. Goes past him to O'Connor, into Noel Williams. And it should have been 2 again. If either of these strikers were decent with their feet, we'd be in pretty big trouble here. As it is at half-time, it's 1-0 to Burnley. And it really should be more. We're going to question the passion, because there's a lot of people who want big contracts but aren't producing big performances. If we look at the match stats, it's all Burnley. There is no doubt they deserve to be ahead. And now, another injury, this time Dean Morgan. We'll have to look to take him off in a minute. But John Harley's got it first. We might go 2 down. Spicer shoots and we do. No point taking a risk now, is there? Enoch Shawunmi will make his comeback. And then we're down to 2 strikers that are fit. Doesn't bode well, does it? So Enoch Shawunmi will get a rare run out in his actual position as the running in behind striker. We're also going to take off Berkovic for Edwards early here. And I think I'm tempted to bring Sol Davis on. And I probably will at left back for Joe Keenan. Robinson could come on as well. Keane's been poor. Do you know what? We'll leave the last one 5 minutes. But Edwards and Shawunmi on. Pace on the break and an injury rested, because Dean Morgan has been too important this year to take any chances with. As Brian Jensen's got it again, this is turning into a pretty harrowing day. And it's the fact, as I mentioned earlier, there are so many heavy defeats coming along now. And I don't seem to be able to stem the tide. As Kevin Nichols wins it back, Shawunmi goes up. The benefit now, we've got 2 massive strikers on there. But we've not really got the service to them. Shawunmi chases this, but Vermeulen will get there. He's got enough pace to deal with that. Adi Akinbaye running in behind though, and Heikkinen might struggle. Gets to the byline, back to O'Connor. Foley left his man. And Lee Grant saves the day again. It's 2-0, and he's probably been our best player here. Howard loses the flick on. It was the chance to get Shawunmi in, and it's Hyde with the ball, but Keane makes the tackle, and it stays 2. But this is an absolute bloodbath. Burnley have gone 4-5-1. I'm surprised by that. I don't really know why they've gone defensive when they're so comfortable. But hopefully that will give us a route back into it, as Paul Underwood on the left finds Chris Coyne. Wide to Keenan, and now Underwood again. Finally in the opposition half, as Steve Howard again, marshalled well by Frank Sinclair. That's been the key today. He's not had a look in as Big Steve. Adi Akinbaye has beaten Coyne, who's had a really poor few weeks. And Lee Grant tips it over. Let's think about our final change now as well. You can see Lee Grant is our best player. Underwood's starting to struggle as well. So looking at our bench, I think Chris Brunt is the one who benefits most from minutes. So let's get him on for Underwood. Robinson's leaving the club. Davis is nearly 30. He's not going to improve now. Let's just keep the youngsters on and give them the opportunity, as Kevin Nichols has a free kick 30 yards out, blocked by the wall as far as Heikkinen. On the right-hand side, finds a cross. Keenan gets up. Good save. Nice effort that from Joe Keenan. Nichols will recycle it again. But the first sign of quality from us after, 73 minutes. Nichols over another free kick. That's an absolute beauty. Brian Jensen forced into action again. We seem to be looking up a little bit now. Burnley have changed shape and gone more defensive here, and it's certainly not helping them. We've got another attack now as it's crossed into Chris Brunt. Chance to get it across the box. Shawunmi's up. Can't quite win it. Don't even know if he scored yet this season. As the other O'Connor breaks down the right-hand side now. Burnley breaking forward with Akinbaye. What a game he's had. Noel Williams up there. Have they gone 2 up front again? Noel Williams in. It's a good save. Foley and Edwards getting each other's way, but eventually it's cleared downfield. Really poor day this. It's been a difficult one. Young Cole Lafferty's on. Carbassion's left on the bench. But it's a 2-0 defeat. It's a really comfortable one. And that is more like the pattern of what we've seen in the second half of this year. We've just run out of steam after that early start. Those injuries are piling up. 3 or 4 players who know they're not going to be here long term. And now we stay in 6th place for the day. But looking at a couple of teams below with the game in hand. Looking at the points difference to even 13th now. It looks like it could be quite tricky. If Leicester beat us in the next one, we will be below them and out of the playoffs. So let's see how we get on when we return for that one in a moment. Well, we return a week later for a big game in the playoff race. But if you thought we had a real chance of making it, Well, the news today will probably change that because in addition to Joe Keenan's loan ending, Steve Howard is out until the international break. He will not feature in any of the next three matches. And that, I think, is probably the final nail in the coffin because there's not much fitness among the rest of them. Dean Morgan has made this one, but it doesn't look pretty at all. If we have a look at the conditioning at the minute, I mean, Steve Howard's nowhere near. We've got decisions to make with Feeney, with Shawunmi. It's just a mess, isn't it? We're going to have to put Shawunmi in Howard's position as much as it's not ideal physically. He is lacking in match fitness. He's not played a game from the start for ages. We've got Dean Morgan up front who's playing terribly. Warren Feeney who's not fully fit. And we've somehow got to make a decision between the two of them. I'm going to go for a fully changed front two with Dean Morgan on the bench. We're going to have to put Edwards on the bench behind Berkovic. We're also going to have to bring Sol Davis back in at left back. I'm going to put Brunt in on the left of midfield. And I'm going to try and stick with the rest of it the same because, look, that is our strongest squad at the moment, I feel. Warren Feeney needs to recapture his form at the start of the season. And someone's got to start scoring because Kevin Nicholls' penalties is not going to be enough. I think the playoff race is over. We're probably now playing for pride. And if we don't win this one, we can certainly start looking to next season. You can see that Leicester have gone for experience. You've got the likes of Dion Dublin up front. Oh, there's some quality in that team, isn't there? Rab Douglas is starting this time after the saga early in the season. But let's see if we can rediscover a bit of home form. Because last time, well, it was a 5-1 defeat against Palace. It was a 1-1 draw against Crewe. It was disappointing performances. What are we going to get now as Nicholls and Davis play a 1-2 down the line towards Brunt? He's going to be a big man here because Mabry already on a yellow. Up to Shawunmi, who's covering for Howard. Brunt gets it to him again. Shawunmi loses out, but it falls for Davis. And now Kevin Nicholls. Can someone become a hero in this last third of the year? Foley gets down the right. Chance to cross. Berkovic in. Warren Feeney's one-on-one. Feeney to Shawunmi. He should have shot. He put it to Shawunmi under pressure because he didn't fancy his chances from the angle. You look earlier in the season, Feeney would have shot and scored there. He was scoring every game. Not the case now. And now, just 10 seconds later, it's straight down the other end for a corner. And we're in a little bit of trouble. That's the difference between confidence and poor decision making. As Morrison's got the corner kick for Leicester, might put us under pressure. Into the front post, Shawunmi does well. At least covers that part of Howard's game with aplomb. With 10 minutes gone, we've had the best opportunity. We didn't even get a shot away from it. Or 22 minutes on the clock. We've survived the first quarter, but for how much longer? Because here come Leicester again. They're putting pressure on our goal. It's a big ball to the back post. Chris Coyne does well, finds Kevin Foley, releases Feeney down the right. Shawunmi can keep up with him. That is the one benefit. Feeney goes in again. Shoot this time. Warren Feeney does. That's what a confident striker does. And that's what we wanted you to do the first time. Warren Feeney's in. He's back. He's fit. And if we can get him back to full fitness and full form, he's going to be the star he was at the start. And he might just keep us in the playoff race. Warren Feeney makes it 1-0. We've survived almost half an hour. We've got a long goal kick towards Enoch Shawunmi, who's won the flick on. Was Feeney onside? I don't know. He's one-on-one. Shawunmi's with him. One-on-one. Has to score. Oh, my God. The ball back to him wasn't great. It was fired at him at pace. But Shawunmi, again, just the wrong side of the goal. He's not as good with the finish as we've seen from Steve Howard. Ball across the box again. Keith Keane just misses it. We've been better since we scored. It's brought a bit of confidence back. But we really need to turn this into a victory. Leicester earlier in the season, if you remember, the side where before the Watford game we lost a long unbeaten run. And this time there'll be the start of a better unbeaten run. Kevin Foley's picked up a knock. We're going to have to change him at half time. He'll come off. We'll put Keane right back and Robinson in midfield. But for now, he's gone long towards Feeney. He's got another chance to do so. Up to Shawunmi. His Norbo deals with him pretty well. Heikkinen misses out to Dublin. Chris Coyne's committed and now De Vries is in. It's terrible defending. And thankfully, it's a terrible shot from De Vries because we deserve to be level there. Unfortunately, Leicester missed the chance. Let's go to the break. Unfortunate to be behind Leicester. I'd agree with that. Let's say we're pleased with how we're going. We're going to take off Foley, as we said, and Steve Robinson will come on in central midfield. Bit more experience in the squad, never a bad thing. But Foley's probably our best player now, so doesn't harm us on that side of things. And almost immediately, the pattern of the first half continues. Leicester on the attack from the kickoff. Lee Grant just comes and smothers that in time. Can we now hit on the counter? Just not the same without Steve Howard up there, is it? Shawunmi goes up this time. Does win it, to be fair to him. But isn't able to direct it in the right direction. As Coyne heads away to Feeney. Chance for Shawumi to break again. Kisnorbo reads it. And it's up to Dion Dublin, but Keith Keane does well. Chris Coyne with a very heavy touch, but then finds a brilliant ball to Berkovic. Two strikers in the middle. Berkovic to the byline. Can he find the ball? In towards Shawumi. Enoch Shawumi scores. I take it all back. He's finally delivered the moment. He's got to be pleased with that. Has he scored this season? No, it's his first. Maybe that's the moment that ignites him. He's going to be playing the next three regardless. And Enoch Shawumi has made it 2-0, completely against the run of play. As Johansson on halfway for Leicester, up towards Dublin. Coyne wins it, Nichols flicks on. Feeney's in a chase here, the keeper's committed. Rab Douglas gets it clear. De Vries goes up, beats Heikkinen. It's all over the place. Thankfully, his shot's wide. Look at the match stats. We've had 3 shots all game. We've managed to score 2 of them. Now we've got a free kick with Kevin Nichols. Into Shawumi again. Kisnorbo does well with it. Nichols releases Feeney. Clever pass. Feeney into the box. Falls for Berkovic. Into the box again. Feeney's there. Scores on the rebound. How on earth are we winning this 3-0? We've been absolutely battered for most of it. But it is Luton 3, Leicester 0. And if we keep picking up these odd wins, our start to the season gives us a chance. I really didn't think we were getting anything here. But maybe we will now as Davis switches to Berkovic. Away as far as Keith Keane. Up to Feeney, who's made a big impact today. This time he does lose out though. Coyne heads it forward towards him again. Feeney flicks on for Shawumi. He's in one-on-one. The keeper gets there. But then there's a penalty. Nicol was pulling a shirt on the rebound. Robinson, I think it was, to get there. And now Kevin Nichols has the chance to make it 4. And out of nowhere, in a game we've been battered, this could end up being our biggest win of the season. Luton 4, Leicester 0. And Leicester have had most of the best chances in this game. This is an absolute disaster for Leicester. How on earth have they conceded 4 here? Let's have a look at what we can do in terms of subs. I don't want to do much while we're playing this well. I might bring on a bit of experience later on, Underwood for Brunt, etc. But I'm not going to change anything too early while we're playing like this. Brilliant from Shawumi again. Nichols gets it wide to Davis. Shawumi is one of those out of contract at the end of this year. He might earn a new one in the next few weeks as Berkovic shoots just wide. And it remains 4, but I think this game is over, even by our standards. It's just about who we rest and at what points now. As Morrison gets in, good save Lee Grant. Where on earth is the defending? You're 4 up, show a little bit of composure and a little bit of discipline, will you? Alan Sheehan, future Luton captain in this universe, commits the foul to relieve the pressure. Maybe he's helping us out in advance there. I'm looking at the front 2. I think we've got to rest one of them because we can't just get them both for a week. Feeney's had a lot of injury problems. So I think with 15 to go, that'll be my next sub. Let's just see out this though with Mabry. Throws in, Brunt intercepts. It goes towards Nichols. Feeney again. Can he get the hat-trick before he goes off? Oh, it goes over the bar. He certainly had a good game. Shawumi's really struggling. I've only got 1 sub striker. I think I might have to do it now. I'm going to go Morgan for Shawumi. He's 49% fit. And then the final sub, I've got Chris Brunt who can come off for Underwood. And I think that's going to be it as well. Sol Davis struggling a little bit. But I'm going to go for that. Let's make it happen. Paul Underwood on for experience. We're bringing Morgan on for the very fatigued Shawumi. And hopefully we can wrap him in cotton wool because now he's got his first goal and he's played well. We're going to need him next week with Steve Howard out. Hopefully he can deliver again. And Feeney will still get his chance for the hat-trick now. Well, we've seen out most of the last 15 pretty comfortably. No highlights, no action, and I'm happy with that. The only question is, can we hold on for a clean sheet? As Ian Hume, the sub goes from distance, but it's straight at the keeper. And I think we're going to wrap up a ridiculous performance and result. They were so contrasting. Chris Coyne at the back was excellent, but the match stats, I mean, we've had less shots, half of the possession. We've not been at our brilliant best, but we've somehow found a way to get a really big win. Shawumi to get his first goal, Feeney to get back in form. It's been a very good weekend for Luton Town because we're now back up to 5th. We're level on points with Preston and QPR. Southampton have got a game in hand to get closer. And of course, they've now got Rowan Vine who's up front. He scored 3 in 8 for them so far. I did try to sign Kenwyn Jones from them, but he didn't get a work permit for the summer, which is annoying. And it's still going to be a close race because 10 points separates us and 14th. And going into the rest of the season, that's going to be pretty tough to keep up. Let's have a look at the fixtures for when we're going to be back. 2 more episodes from the regular season and maybe a playoff episode as well. We'll wait and see. We're going to be back for the Watford game, and we'll show Southampton the Rowan Vine reunion. And then we'll do the final 2 games of the season. Preston are in 6th place. That's the penultimate game. If you want to stick with it though and see how we do, please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Let me know in the comments if you think we make the top 6 and if we can do the double over rivals Watford. Will Rowan Vine come back to haunt us? We'll find out on Monday as we return for the penultimate episode of the regular championship season. If you did enjoy this one, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. 2 very contrasting results and 2 pretty average performances, but it's turning into a weird, unpredictable stage of the championship season, which I guess isn't too unrealistic. Thank you all so much for your support with the series so far. It returns every weekday at 4:30, and I'll see you on Monday to continue the fun as we head towards the end of Season 1.